Okay, welcome to this episode, which is a Sci-Fi Slugfest, a bona fide Sci-Fi Slugfest, and you'll see that I've invested in a title card, no expense spared, obviously, so we'll sort of just jump into it, I guess. So first book, this is the most recent book that I've read, Alastair Reynolds, Revelation Space. Unfortunately, I've got a bit of a goldfish memory, so most of the plot sort of fizzled off, but luckily I've learnt from my last video and made some notes, so I'm not sort of bumbling my way through it. So I really enjoyed this book. I think if you're into your harder sci-fi, based on sort of the laws of physics and all that, this is probably the one for you. If you're into gonzo cybergoth space operas, you know, this is what you want. So I've got some notes, as I say. So what's the plot about? 9,000 centuries ago, there's this alien race called the Amarantan who got mysteriously wiped out. And the plot of this book is sort of dealing with the Fermi paradox, why no alien sort of, no intelligent life has sort of come down and said hello, really, to put it simply. So you're introduced in the beginning to a character called Sylvester. It's a bit egomaniacal. He's an archaeologist who unveils some Amarantan artifacts in obelisk at a dig, and he sort of wants to uncover the mystery of why this race disappeared off the face of the galaxy. When you sort of jump back in time to a different planet, Chasm City, and you're introduced to this assassin called Corey, who's recruited by the Mademoiselle, this mysterious figure, to assassinate Sylvester. And then you're also introduced in a separate strand to Volyova, who just runs about a ship shouting swine in some language, but she wants to recruit a gunnery officer for her own ship, Nostalgia for Infinity, because she sort of murders the person who previously held the post. So all the timelines and characters eventually converge and combine, and that's when you get into the main thrust of the story, which sort of unveils the mystery of the Amarantan and the characters' past. So I guess I'll start with the negative points first and then finish on a high. So what didn't I like about this one? Well, the main aspect were the characters, which I think were pancake flat in my eyes. Some people might disagree, and that's fair enough. But for me, they're mainly characterised by their motivations. So Sylvester is mainly just wanting to uncover this mystery at all costs, and Corey is sort of debating whether to kill Sylvester or not, and you know, she sort of forgets about her role in a way, and Volyova is sort of just going around yelling swine. I mean, she has arguments, but you know, there's not really any personality behind the arguments. They're just disagreeing with the other crew members. So for me, the characters are just sort of two-dimensional, but some people, again, might disagree. I also thought that there was potential for some conflict between Volyova and Curry when Curry first infiltrates the Nostalgia for Infinity, but never really materialised. And there's this one paragraph, and it's very late on, and page 560, and it's something about Sylvester, and I just thought it'd be so effective if they sprinkled that little bit of personality or existentialism, I guess, throughout the book, but it's literally just one paragraph. But let's see what else I didn't like. Withholding information. It sort of made most of the revelations fall flat, so for example, character A will tell character B something about character C, and they'll say, you know, A will say to B, "You'll never see what, you'll never guess what I saw character C doing," and then it just say, character B's jaw dropped, and it won't even reveal the dialogue between them until later on. I think that sort of style is good for building up tension throughout the book and getting you gripped, but when it's revealed, whatever information the author withheld, it just sort of doesn't pay off in my eyes. But the good points, it has a sound plot, some great mystery elements, it really does resolve well as well in the end. So got some good resolution. The ending was a bit saccharine for my taste, but some people, you know, if you like a good ending, this one's for you. Found it easy enough to read, and you can definitely tell that Alastair Reynolds is a scientist and he's got a PhD in astronomy, because the detail he puts into this is quite astonishing, really. I enjoyed the settings. I thought Chasm City was great, how it's got this plague that's mutating it, so it's growing outwards rapidly and sort of indiscriminately. Nostalgia for Infinity, great ship, and the last 100 pages or so, which is based on the ship. I thought they were so intense, and that really kept me gripped. Well, all in all, a good book. If you like the harder aspects of science fiction, this one's for you. Next up, we're going for quite an intimidating one, as you can see by the length. Great North Road by Peter F. Hamilton. He's sort of known for his longer works, and it's been years, I think, since I've read this, so the plot details really have evaporated, but from what I recall, it's sort of two main strands. One's a police procedural, and there's this family of rich clones, and one of these clones has been murdered, so you know, there's a huge amount of political pressure to solve this mystery, and turns out that a few years ago in the past, similar murders took place on a planet called St. Libra, and the second sort of strand, and the main strand, as it turns out, deals with this expedition. So the length might be off-putting for some, and reading some reviews, they really didn't. Some people really didn't find the police procedural that interesting, and they said that they found they can just skip through it and read the expedition chapters and sort of scan through the police procedural chapters. But for me, I thought it was great. The plot, I enjoyed both aspects of it, but so, you know, it's 1,080 odd pages, but really did fly by. But, well, not so much fly by, but you know, I read it all right. There's this great alien threat in this, similar to the plague in Alastair Reynolds' book, actually. It's called the Xanth, I think, and it's just unstoppable, and it doesn't seem intelligent, so it just sort of relies on instinct and takes over the planets, and there's no really stopping it. So it wasn't a great part of the plot, as in it didn't take up too much of the plot, it's sort of an aside, but I really did think it's a good threat. I enjoyed the characters much more than in Revelation Space. Again, both of these books had strong female characters, but this one, it sort of had, you know, you sort of delve into Angela, who's the main female character. It delves into her past throughout the book, and you've got Sid, who's sort of a family man who's dealing with his family, and there's another detective who's a bit of a womanizer. So all the characters have good personalities from what I remember. And with all good sci-fi, this one has great technology in it, so if you're in for a longer book, this one's probably for you. And this one is a standalone novel, so if you're new to Peter Hamilton and don't want to commit yourself to a trilogy, you might want to read this. Final book on my list, consider Phlebas by Iain and Banks. Iain and Banks is one of my favourite science fiction authors. I just love this work, and there's this sort of review on the back. It says poetic, humorous, baffling, terrifying, sexy. Not so sure what he gets up to in the bedroom, whether he just reads Iain and Banks, but you know, this cover is probably one that I could conceivably describe as sexy. I love this cover. But the plot, and this is probably the first science fiction book I've ever read, so the plot's really gone on me. But there's this society called a culture. It's sort of a socialistic utopia, and there's a war going on between one faction, the Eidolons, and these aliens recruit this changer, who's a changer is a species that can sort of imitate any other person by changing their form. So Hawser, who's a changer, he's sort of the main character, and just sort of follows his misadventures as he's on this quest to recover a culture mind. It's like a gigantic floating brain. So some people consider this not to be a good place to delve into the culture, but you know, if you're hardcore, I think you can start on this one. But the second book, Play of Games, might be an easier introduction to the culture novels if you're happy to, if you prefer the easier introductions. But I find diving into this to be straightforward enough, so not too difficult to get into. Some people didn't like the disturbing sections, like there's one section near the beginning where Hawser's being flooded by sewage, and there's this great section where there's this cannibal tribe on an island. But for me, the good points of this, I really liked how the plot strands, they don't really link into each other. It's just sort of the main character taking over his ship, infiltrating it, and then going from A to B to C to D to E to do his mission. So it's sort of his misadventures rather than, you know, one coherent plot where it all revolves around. So I thought it's a bit different, and you know, each adventure sort of made me want to read more. And you know, it sort of starts off with this character taking over his ship, then it goes into this temple and all that goes wrong, and then goes on to trying to take some weapon or some artifact off a large ship on an orbital. Then it goes on to the island, and then goes on to taking back over the ship, clear air turbulence. So I really enjoyed that, and the ending was fantastic. I thought it was really claustrophobic, the tension was high, the ending, to me, some people might not like it, but I really enjoyed it. One aspect I thought was weird was that there seemed to be some, just midway through the book, for whatever reason, the main character just sort of wakes up in this sort of matrix when he gets put back to sleep. I found no explanation for it. Maybe I've got to reread this again, but you know, I've even tried googling it. Maybe I've just imagined this because nobody else seems to mention it. But you know, this is my favourite, my favourite sci-fi author, so I think this is a great book to get into. So moving away from science fiction, what am I reading at the moment? It's Sharpe's Tiger, some historical fiction. I really enjoyed the TV series back when it was on, so I thought I'd dive into my first ever historical fiction novel. I'm enjoying it so far, about 100 pages in, and you know, again, this cover is fantastic. Looks even better off screen. I just really like it. I also went down to bookstore recently. So what did I buy? Well, I bought books. Surprise, surprise. But what books did I buy? The Gap of Time by Jeanette Winterson, which is a retelling of, and I can find what it's a retelling of, A Winter's Tale, which I think is a Shakespeare play. So spoilers, I guess, if you've read that. I haven't read that, but I'm looking forward to seeing what this is about. I literally just picked it up because I thought it's something that I don't normally read, so that's the reason, just a random pickup, but we'll see how that goes. Now this one, The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. Again, it might seem a bit superficial and a bit shallow, but I just bought this because of this book cover. I think it's fantastic, so I've not really had any idea what it's about yet, just somebody meeting a watchmaker, but from what I see, it's supposed to be really good. It's sort of elements of different genres, historical fiction, magic realism, combining together, so this is probably next on my to read list, just to see what the hell it's about. But you know, I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but this cover is great. Anyway, outside of the superficial, we've also got Dan Simmons' Hyperion Omnibus that covers Hyperion and the fall of Hyperion. And I actually bought this based on reviews. Heard this is a great science fiction novel, so I really look forward to reading this saga when I get round to it. So shouldn't be disappointed with this. Never read a Dan Simmons book, so should be good. So that's all there is for today. I'll be getting on with reading Sharpe's Tiger over the coming week, and possibly moving on to a Watchmaker book. But I think that's all there is for today, so thank you for watching, and goodbye.